Andy, it's been a few weeks since we last played a competitive game in Welsh football, December the 19th to be precise. You have been playing friendlies in the meantime, plus of course training sessions. How's it been going overall?
Well, that's been really difficult, to be honest, Stuart. You know, it's a really interesting question and point that you raise, really. I think the league deliberately left some spare weekends over January to fulfil any postponements that might have occurred during November, December due to inclement weather. The reality was that the weather was quite mild and all of those fixtures were fulfilled. So if you didn't have an Adran Trophy or you got knocked out of the FA Cup, of course, you've then got that 2-month, 7-week period, whatever it is, with non-competitive games. Of course, we know what happened in the Adran Trophy. We got knocked out of the FA Cup, and as you rightly point out, that's left us with 3 weekends that we've then had to fill with friendly fixtures against different opponents. So I'm not sure how we get over those anomalies moving forward. I think in terms of the profile of women's football across Wales and certainly the Adran League, it's important that teams are playing games during this period. It's really difficult to go for 7 weeks without any games. Obviously, you lose any momentum, any profile that has been built up during the first part of the season. So there are some questions that I think need to be raised there and some solutions that maybe need to be explored moving forward for next season, which would be quite interesting. For us this season, obviously, we've had to fill that void, so we've done the best that we can. Getting opponents to play friendly fixtures which have been really competitive at times and been good for us. It's allowed us to try new things, get some players getting some minutes that haven't had that, but in all honesty it's difficult because the motivation of the players, of yourself as coaches, is those competitive fixtures on a Sunday. So it will be nice this weekend to get back to a competitive fixture against Port Talbot.
And the rubber hits the road as we travel to South Wales. Will training this week therefore be different to how it's been in previous weeks because there's a game at the end of the week to look forward to?
Again, that's a really interesting question, but the answer is no. We've tried to maintain our momentum, we've tried to maintain levels of intensity, etc., and volume of practice to ensure that our players are absolutely ready for phase 2. So we've not slacked off in any way, shape or form. You know, we've had no time off bar Christmas week and New Year. We've gone straight back into it and gone back into a games programme specifically with the intention of being ready for this weekend. So training tonight, training tomorrow really is all around this weekend's game plan and what that's going to look like.
And the next question, Andy, is back to the league, of course. 6 games to go. It's true to say that they're all cup finals, starting with, as you say, Port Talbot ladies. That's away. We've played them twice so far this season. Both have been 2-0 scorelines, 1 to them, 1 to us. Have you identified that, because they are just above us in the table as well? Have you identified that as one that is particularly a winnable game?
Honestly, yes, we have. We have to, it's the next game, so we have to identify it as winnable. We think that the 4 teams that are in the bottom half of the league are very closely matched, and it's about who turns up on the day is going to be the one that walks away with the points. As you rightly point out, they're 2 points ahead of us, and we need to, close that gap and reverse that gap as quickly as we possibly can. 6 games sounds a lot, but it'll very quickly go if we don't start picking up points and don't start picking up wins. In particular, really draws are no good to us, in particular in this game, because we don't close the gap. So we've got to be looking at wins. We know that. We're circumspect in that sense. I've mentioned a lot this season about the week-on-week progress that the players are making, that we as a team and we as a club are making. But fundamentally, when it comes down to it, at this time now, it's about wins. I think we've spoken before. We'll be, really determined to do our best to get those 3 points by winning this game, but I'm sure Port Talbot will as well. You've just mentioned they've won 1, we've won 1. Both teams will see it as a winnable game. So, as I say, at the end of the day, whichever team turns up prepared to roll their sleeves up and dig out a win is going to be the team that gets the 3 points.
And a look at the league table clearly tells us that we do need to get off to a good start, if possible. What motivation will you and the staff be giving to the girls before they go out onto that pitch on Sunday with the message that you must win this game?
Well, I think most coaches will tell you if you've got to motivate your players, then you've got the wrong set of players, because they should be motivated themselves to compete, to come and do the best that they can to win the game. So for us, it's around the game plan. It's more around the clarity and the focus of the game plan. Of course, you know, the words winning and 3 points, I dare say, will be mentioned, but we've had lots of conversations this season where we've been concentrating on the process. You know, we've done as much as we can to prepare the players in our style of play, gelling together as a group, playing with our set of principles. But we're down to the stage now where, you know, everybody's fighting for their lives to keep themselves in the league. So the players have to come, they have to compete, they have to, you know, find their best levels of performance within these 6 games starting at the weekend. And that's our aim and our objective, to get players mentally and emotionally in the right place to come and, you know, tick all of those boxes.
And Andy, you've had plenty of time, as we referred to with no competitive games, plenty of time to focus on this game on Sunday. Have you got everything set in place in terms of your tactics, your approach, your starting lineup? Or, because there will be a couple of training sessions, of course, before then, are you still open to persuasion by what you see out there on the Park Hall pitch this week?
Well, I think, you know, as you say, I've watched not only the Port Talbot game, but the games against these opponents now several times over that break, to, you know, deconstruct how they play and how we set up, and what the opportunities and the threats may be within those games. But, you know, as a coach, you can only control so much. There are so many things that are out of your control. I don't think it's particularly helpful that the first 2 games are away. I'll be perfectly honest. I think that is a huge disadvantage for us. We would like to be at home, we would like to play at home, we train here, we're very comfortable here on this pitch, but, you know, we have to get on with it. It's a grass pitch, it's away, it's down to Port Talbot. We know that, we've known that for a long time now. We've got our head around that, we've done our work, as it were, in terms of training. We're as prepared as we possibly can be. At the end of the day, we've said it's on the players to be getting their preparation right for the rest of this week, hoping that nobody's sick, nobody's injured by the weekend, and that we go with a full strength side, and that we are able to pick a starting 11 in a formation that we believe is going to counter what we believe Port Talbot are going to play.
And of course, availability is a key factor. Are you likely to have a full strength squad to choose from?
Yeah, we're very fortunate. We've had a couple of COVID cases in recent months, and we've had a couple of niggles, but it would appear this week that everybody that is fit and available to us as a squad member is available for this game at the weekend. So we're very hopeful that that stays the same for Sunday. So fingers crossed we can get down there and put our 11 players on the pitch ready to go.